Welcome everyone, Johnny Keck over at AMP Futures, and thank you for tuning in today. In today's video, we're going to continue our segment of the CQG Mobile trading platform, which is a free web-based application that's available at AMP Futures at no monthly cost, practically compatible with any device, whether you're using Windows operating system or Macintosh, or you can even use it on a cell phone if you wish. And we've already demonstrated a few different functions within the platform, such as the hybrid order ticket, the quotes widget, charts, and the trade ticket. So we're just going to go over and cover the different widgets that you can use within CQG Mobile, so you have an understanding of what each widget will do and where to go to add them. So let's get right into it. We're going to show you here. I'm just going to go and click. And as we progress forward, I'm going to show you how to build out the workspaces and integrate the different widget options, and you can essentially build your own custom workspace. You don't necessarily have to use the examples that I've already demonstrated in the prior videos. But for now, let's just show you which widgets are available to you. So again, you just got to make sure that you access the widget menu tab in terms of adding a new widget, which is normally the plus sign within your workspace. So as you can see here, this is my trading workspace that I have. If I click this plus sign up here, that's adding a new page, which is what I don't want to do. That's going to actually have me build a new workspace entirely. So we're just going to simply add widgets within the workspace. All right, so you can see here I have a little plus sign. And if you notice when I mouse over, you can see that it gives me the option to add a new widget. So when you click on that, this is the menu option that you see here. So these are all the different widgets that you can select. So there have been some changes over the course of the last couple of months. This list, when I first logged into CQG Mobile many months ago, this was not as extensive. So you can see there was, for example, this chart option here. You now have the ability to add individual charts. Before, you can only add the quotes widget, which would link the charts to the quotes widget. So now you can actually create individual charts, which is pretty nice. So I've already covered that in the charting section of the video that I've demonstrated. So it's pretty much, if you just want to create a bar chart, you're going to select bar, candle, hollow candles, area, or line. So those are the different five chart types that you can select from. If you select either one of them, it's going to basically create an individual chart widget for that specific chart type. All right, now if you go to the quotes section here, you can see you have two options: the quotes widget, which I've already demonstrated in a video. So be sure to watch that if you don't have an understanding what the quotes widget will do. FXQB, since I haven't demonstrated that, I'll go ahead and just knock that down real quick. So let me go ahead and add a quick one. It stands for FX Quote Board from my understanding. And it's going to be similar to adding a symbol, just like we did for the hybrid order ticket or the trade ticket. You're just going to simply type in whichever symbol you'd like to populate the FXQB for. So let's say the mini S&P, for example. So we'll just type in EP. I'm going to select that contract and click OK. And then that's what it looks like by default. So this is basically a bare minimum FXQB board. So the one thing that I want to show you is, if you notice on the top right corner of every widget, there's always going to be a little box with 3 dots. And that's letting you know that that's the preferences menu specifically for that widget. So if I have the FXQB widget selected, which I do, you can see it's highlighted. If I click over to the quotes widget, now I'm on the quotes widget. So if I click here, that's giving me the preferences option specifically for the quotes widget. All right, so now if I go back here to FXQB and I click here, now it's giving me the preferences menu specifically for the FX quote board. All right, so now one thing I want to point out, this is pretty much a I don't want to say replacement, but an alternative to a different DOM or way of placing trades, you can say. So this is a very simple approach. Really, this is just kind of giving you quotes here. So, I mean, I would say if you're going to go this route, I personally think the hybrid order ticket's better. But if you just want to be able to have maybe a window that's not as big as the hybrid order ticket, then what you could do is you can go in the preferences menu, and then so right now it's just showing you quotes. So that's pretty much what you can do, is to see the open, the high, the low, the last. You can see what the volume of the last bid is. You can see the volume of the last ask. You can see what the bid is in the spread. So therefore it's 675 by 7. All right, so it's actually 1996.5 by 1996.75. So that's the bid, which you can see there as a B. A represents the ask. And then you can see here net change of the last quote in percentage. All right, so it's pretty much just kind of giving you an indication and display of quotes. Well, you can't necessarily trade off it. Now, if you want to trade off it, you're going to want to get into the preferences menu, and you want to click the trading style here, and then basically all it does is just collapses a buy market, sell market, quick button, and then also the ability to increase or change the amount of contracts that you want to buy or sell. And also you can hit the bid or the offer. So it's pretty much just either market orders, or you're hitting the bid or the offer on limits, or and just changing the amount of contracts you want to buy or sell. All right, that's the trading style preference. Now if you go to the dome style preference, it basically creates a mini dome which gives you 5 levels of market depth. So you can see here there's 5 levels here, 5 levels here, If you notice when I mouse over, it's giving me a blue background, which is letting me know these are buy orders. And if I mouse over here, these are giving me an indication these are sell orders. And of course, you can see your depth of market. So you have 68 buy orders working at 96 and a quarter. As you can see, that number is going to change constantly. And then pretty much you're just going to left click. So for example, if I want to place a buy limit at 19.96 and a quarter for one contract, I'm just going to left click, place the order, and now actually just got filled. So now you can see I have an open position in my open positions widget here. So I'm long from 1995.75, and now there's my running P&L. And that's pretty much how you place trades. Now let me close out the trade real quick. Liquidate the trade. Now we're out. All right, so let's go back. Let's go ahead and place a trade below the market price. So let's just say I want to place a buy limit at 19.94 and a half. Market's at 95.75. Place the order, and now you can see the order's working. So that's just basically an easier way to get in there and place trades if you want to be able to change this to the DOM style preference for the FX quote board. Basically another way to execute trades using the CQG mobile platform. This is outside of using the hybrid order ticket or the trade ticket approach. All right, so again, if you want to be able to select a simple trading approach, you can do that. If not, you can go to the DOM. The difference really is, as you can see here, the hybrid order ticket's much larger, but you do get the ability to have 10 levels of market depth versus 5, and you have these abilities, the ability to use these hotkey functions, which I find is useful. So it's all personal preference. The main thing is understanding where to go to access the different functions and widgets, and this is specifically the FX quote board widget. Again, accessible from the quotes menu tab here. All right, so now I'm going to go and close this widget out for now, and let's go on and let's move forward. So that is pretty much FX quote board. You have times and sales, pretty straightforward. If you've been trading futures for a while, you should have an understanding of what times and sales will do. Basically gives you times and sales of a transaction of the market that you're looking at. So let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and just add it. I'm going to click on times and sales. Again, similar, you're just going to type in the symbol, EP, select the contract, click OK. And now times and sales will start to accumulate. So you can see the symbol, you can see the price, you can see how many contracts, you can see a timestamp, and that's pretty much what times and sales is going to do. It's a pretty straightforward function. And again, you have the ability to manage columns, for example. Really, there's only 4 columns, which is symbol, price, volume, and time. But you can organize the columns as I've demonstrated in earlier videos just by simply drag and reorder. And then that's pretty much it. So, and other than that, you can resize columns to fit. You don't necessarily have to do it because there's only 4 columns. If you want to, then the option is here, resize columns to fit. All right, and that's times and sales. All right, let's go forward and move down the list. We've already covered the hybrid order ticket and the trade ticket, so I'll go ahead and skip those. All right, and then you have the generic stuff here, which is you definitely want to be able to add these widgets within your workspace. It's pretty important. The orders widget is pretty important. That's going to give you the ability to see working orders, completed transactions, canceled orders. So I already have this is not the working orders widget. You can see there's 2 different options. There's orders and orders working. So if you add, let's say, orders, for example, this is going to give you everything. So you have a working order, you have filled transactions, canceled, rejected. It's going to pretty much show you everything in terms of orders. Now, if you only are concerned about seeing working orders, then you may want to add just specifically the working orders widget, as you can see here. And now if you notice this widget here working, it's only showing my working order buying one at 94.5, but if I go back to the orders tab, it shows not only the order that's working at 94.5, but it also shows the filled transactions that I just did prior to placing that working order. And that's the difference between the 2 widgets. All right, let's go back. We'll go down here. You have the filled orders widget, so that basically gives you a confirmation of your filled transactions. I already have one open, so let me just go to it here. You can see those are the 2 trades I just did. Buy, sell, just basically give you a confirmation of what you're doing in terms of executed filled orders. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. And then you have your canceled orders. I kind of figure, if you want to have, it's all up to you if you want to separate them out, but really the difference between these 4 order widgets is just separating them out. So orders is going to see everything. Orders working will only display working orders. Filled orders is only going to display filled orders. And then cancel will show only canceled orders. And then your fills confirmation here, so if you click this, this, again, is going to give you a breakdown of what you've done in terms of filled transactions. All right, so let me close these out. Again, a lot of these are pretty straightforward. And then you have open positions, which is pretty important as well. You want to definitely be able to see your open positions if you have any. I don't have any open at the moment. Let me just go ahead and place a market order and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, just got filled. Now I'm long 1 from 1997, losing $12.50. So the open positions widget is basically going to allow you to see your open positions. One thing that I would recommend doing perhaps is enabling the liquidate and reverse function within the open positions widget. How you do that is you click on the Preferences menu within the Open Positions widget, and you'll see this option right here, Show Liquidate/Reverse. So you have to check it, and now you notice these two buttons here. You have an X and you have two arrows going opposite of each other, up and down. So this one right here will basically liquidate the position at the current market price. This one here will reverse the position. So right now I'm long 1. Watch what happens if I hit this. It just sold 2 back in 1997, and now you can see I'm net short 1 instead of being long 1. So basically it reversed my position at the current market price. Now if I hit the X, this will liquidate the position at the market price. And now I just bought it back in 97.25. Now you can see I no longer have a position open, therefore there's nothing displayed in the Open Positions widget. And that's pretty much what the Open Positions widget does. Again, you have to click on the Preferences menu here within the Open Positions widget to access the Show Liquidate Reverse function. Make sure it's checked to activate it. I'm going to close that out. Let's move forward. And then we also have Purchase and Sales. So Purchase and Sales is going to give you a breakdown of what you do throughout the day. So I've already done, just in these few example trades that I've just placed, I bought 3 and I sold 3, so it's giving me a breakdown, long 3, short 3. This basically means that I bought 3, sold 3 on the September mini S&P contract. Currency of the market that I'm trading is US dollar. You can see that I've taken a $25 gross loss on the 3 trades that I've executed, and basically gives you a short description of the market itself. And again, if you get into the Preferences menu of the Purchase and Sales widget, you can go to Manage Columns. You can go down the list and start activating things. By default, everything is already enabled for you. So it's just a matter of just disabling it if you don't want to see certain things just by left-clicking on it. Now you can see that's kind of a dark or darker shaded price. It's no longer highlighted. So now if I click on it, I don't want to say price, but font, now you can see that everything is highlighted, which is letting you know that it's activated within the widget itself. All right, so that's pretty straightforward, Purchase and Sales. I'm going to close that out as well. And then the rest of it is more cosmetic, just all personal preference. You have, of course, you want the account summary. That's going to be important, so I'll just open that up real quick. Now, one thing I want to point out about the account summary, there's 2 different styles how you could display the account summary. Actually, I think there might be a third way. I think they recently implemented. Let's see here. My mistake, it's 2. So this is the default style of the account summary. So it's really straightforward. Just hit balance, open trade equity, P&L, previous day balance, collateral, net liquidation value, and so forth. If you're not familiar with the terms that you see, just make sure you hover your mouse cursor. It'll tell you exactly what it is. So total account balance, as you can see there, or right here, purchasing power. All right, so this is one way of having it displayed. I personally like this this display here at the bottom. So if you want to look just like this on the bottom here, just go ahead and hit the Preferences menu and change that to Visual. And now you can see this is more of a visual display versus just a basic full display. So it's all personal preference again, but you do have 2 different options on how you would like to have that displayed, whether it's full or visual. And that's the account summary widget, which is definitely important to have. And let's go down to the list here. Options, we won't get into that since we can't trade options at AMP Futures just yet. But these 3 here, as I mentioned, are more cosmetic and personal preference. So you have News widget. The News widget is kind of cool. What it basically will do is give you a list of different news articles that are sponsored by different companies. So whether it's BBC News or it's CME Group, sometimes you might see stuff from WSJ, Wall Street Journal. So it'll give you a short description of what that particular news article will relate to, and then all you have to do is click on it, the header title, the subject itself, and it takes you right to the website that sponsors the article, and you can read it. So that might be a quick way. For example, we had recent Brexit voting last Thursday, which created a lot of market volatility. So if you want to be able to see what's going on, just real quick, Japanese stocks returned to losses amid Brexit uncertainty. So you can click on that. It brings you right to the web page, and you can read the article. All right, so that's kind of cool. And then again, you can add that. You can integrate that within your workspace. And I'll create a workspace video after these videos to show you how to integrate the different widgets within each other, so you can have just one display versus having one individual widget where you have to tab to tab to see each widget. But this, for the most part, is the news widget. So pretty straightforward. All right, let's add another one. And then you have 3D quotes. Pretty much just looks cool. I mean, whether it's going to be any benefit to you is for you to decide. But pretty much it's giving you just quotes for all the different exchanges around the world for certain markets, as you can see. All right, if you go here, you can always, pretty much not too many options. By default, this is what it's showing. So it looks like it's kind of just giving you a basic indication of all the different markets that trade on different exchanges. As you can see, it's global, and it's going around the actual histogram, or better yet, the 3D image of the world that you see there. So that's pretty much what the 3D quotes do. Pretty much, I would say, just more something to look cool within your workspace. Whether you need it, that remains to be seen. Again, that's up to you to decide. But again, you do have access to it. And then the last widget will be the world clock. All right, so that might be useful if you're trading multiple markets, whether you're trading Eurex Exchange or if you're trading Osaka Exchange, the mini Nikkei, or if you're just trading Chicago products, and it might give you a good idea to get an understanding what time it is in those time zones. All right, so you can see in Chicago it's 7:54. You can see what's kind of strange. I'm not just, this is 7:54, so it's really actually, it should be 8:55, but I'll have to double check on that. Frankfurt, you can see, and you can see Tokyo, and you can see all the different time zones here. So that's really what the world clock will represent. Again, it's another cool function that you can add within CQG Mobile, and it's all based on personal preference, whether you want it integrated in your workspace. And that pretty much is the widget options that you see within CQG Mobile. Just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of the available options that you can choose from. Other than that, if you have any questions about that, please give our help desk a call. We're a 24-hour support team at 312-893-6400 extension 1. Gets you transferred directly to our help desk. Otherwise, guys, stay up to date on our YouTube channel. We're definitely very proactive in keeping you up to date with our new products at www.youtube.com/AMP Futures. Again, that's www.youtube.com/AMP Futures. Thank you for listening in. We'll see you next time, and happy trading.